Hello, dear students. You are hearing us on Neet Shala, and we are going to start Chapter 10 Cell Cycle and Cell Division. Are you aware that all organisms, even the largest, start their life from a single cell? You may wonder how a single cell then goes on to form such large organisms. Growth and reproduction are characteristics of cells, indeed, of all living organisms. All cells reproduce by dividing into two, with each parental cell giving rise to two daughter cells each time they divide. These newly formed daughter cells can themselves grow and divide, giving rise to a new cell population that is formed by the growth and division of a single parental cell and its progeny. In other words, such cycles of growth and division allow a single cell to form a structure consisting of millions of cells. 10.1 Cell Cycle. A cell division is a very important process in all living organisms. During the division of a cell, DNA replication and cell growth also take place. All these processes, that is, cell division, DNA replication, and cell growth, hence have to take place in a coordinated way to ensure correct division and formation of progeny cells containing intact genomes. The sequence of events by which a cell duplicates its genome, synthesizes the other constituents of the cell, and eventually divides into two daughter cells is termed as cell cycle. Although cell growth in terms of cytoplasmic increase is a continuous process, DNA synthesis occurs only during one specific stage in the cycle. The replicated chromosome DNA are then distributed to daughter nuclei by a complex series of events during cell division. These events are themselves under genetic control. 10.1.1 Phases of cell cycle. A typical eukaryotic cell is illustrated by a human cell in culture. These cells divide once in approximately every 24 hours. However, this duration of cell cycle can vary from organism to organism and also from cell type to cell type. Yeast, for example, can progress through the cell cycle in only about 90 minutes. The cell cycle is divided into two basic phases, interphase and M phase. M phase, mitosis phase. So you can see here figure 10.1, this is the diagrammatic view of a cell cycle indicating formation of two cells from one cell. The M phase represents the phase when the actual cell division or mitosis occurs, and the interphase represents the phase between two successive M phases. It is significant to note that in the 24-hour average duration of cell cycle of a human cell, cell division proper lasts for only about an hour. The interphase lasts more than 95% of the duration of the cell cycle. I'll repeat it once again. It is significant to note that in the 24-hour average duration of cell cycle of a human cell, cell division proper lasts for only about an hour. The interphase lasts more than 95% of the duration of cell cycle. The M phase starts with the nuclear division corresponding to the separation of daughter chromosomes, karyokinesis, and usually ends with division of cytoplasm, cytokinesis. The interphase, though called the resting phase, is the time during which the cell is preparing for division by undergoing both cell growth and DNA replication in an orderly manner. The interphase is divided into three phases further: G1 phase, gap 1, S phase, synthesis phase, G2 phase, gap 2. G1 phase corresponds to the interval between mitosis and initiation of DNA replication. During G1 phase, the cell is metabolically active and continuously grows but does not replicate its DNA. S or synthesis phase marks the period during which DNA synthesis or replication takes place. So, S phase is responsible when DNA synthesis or replication takes place. This question has also come in previous years. During this time, the amount of DNA per cell doubles. If the initial amount of DNA is denoted as 2C, then it increases to 4C. However, there is no increase in the chromosome number if the cell has haploid or 2n number of chromosomes at G1. Even after S phase, the number of chromosomes remains the same, that is 2n. In animal cells, during the S phase, DNA replication begins in the nucleus and the centriole duplicates in the cytoplasm. During the G2 phase, proteins are synthesized in preparation for mitosis while cell growth continues. So, in animal cell, during S phase, DNA replication will start in the nucleus. During G2 phase, proteins are synthesized for mitosis. Now, here we have some questions which NCERT has asked. So, we should further move. Some cells in the adult animals do not appear to exhibit division. Example, heart cells. Okay? And many other cells divide only occasionally as needed to replace cells that have been lost because of injury or death. These cells that do not divide further exit G1 phase to enter an inactive stage called quiescent stage, G0 of the cell cycle. Cells in this stage remain metabolically active but no longer proliferate unless called on to do so depending on the requirement of the organism, right? So, in animals, the mitotic cell division is only seen in the diploid somatic cells. However, there are few exceptions to this where haploid cells divide by mitosis. For example, male honeybees. Against this, the plants can show mitotic division in both haploid and diploid cells. From your recollection of examples of alternation of generation in plants, chapter 3, identify plant species and stages at which mitosis is seen in haploid cells. So, now we are going to start with a very important part, that is, oh, the screen gone. Wait, just a second. By the way, you all guys, please like, share and subscribe to your NEET Shala, okay? So, this is 10.2 M phase. This is the most dramatic period of the cell cycle, involving a major reorganization of virtually all components of the cell. Since the number of chromosomes in the parent and progeny cells is the same, it is also called as equational division. Though, for conveniences, mitosis has been divided into 4 stages of nuclear division, karyokinesis. It is very essential to understand that cell division is a progressive process and very clear-cut lines cannot be drawn between various stages. So, karyokinesis will involve the 4 phases, namely prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. And this we are reading is M phase. Okay. So, 10.2.1 prophase. Prophase, which is the first stage of karyokinesis of mitosis, follows the S and G2 phases of interphase. In the S and G2 phases, the new DNA molecules formed are not distinct but intertwined. Prophase is marked by the initiation of condensation of chromosomal material. The chromosomal material becomes untangled during the process of chromatin condensation. The centrosome, which had undergone duplication during S phase of interphase, now begins to move towards opposite poles of the cell. The completion of prophase can thus be marked by following characteristic events. Chromosomal material condenses to form compact mitotic chromosomes. Chromosomes are seen to be composed of 2 chromatids attached together at the centromere. Okay, and centrosome, which had undergone duplication during interphase, begins to move towards opposite poles of the cell. Each centrosome radiates out microtubule called asters. The 2 asters together with spindle fiber forms mitotic apparatus. Okay. Cells at the end of prophase when viewed under the microscope. Very important line I am going to read, so please hear it very carefully. Cells at the end of prophase do not show Golgi complexes, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleolus and the nuclear envelope. Okay. Now moving on to 10.2.2 metaphase. The complete disintegration of the nuclear envelope marks the start of the second phase of mitosis. Hence, the chromosomes are spread through the cytoplasm of the cell. By this stage, condensation of chromosomes is completed and they can be observed clearly under the microscope. This then is the stage at which morphology of chromosomes is most easily studied. At this stage, metaphase chromosome is made up of two sister chromatids which are held together by centromere. Small disc-shaped structures at the surface of centromeres are called kinetochores. These structures serve as the site of attachment of spindle fiber formed by spindle fibers to the chromosomes that are moved into the position at the center of the cell. Hence, the metaphase is characterized by the chromosomes coming to lie at the equator with one chromatid of each chromosome connected by its kinetochore to spindle fiber from one pole and its sister chromatid connected by its kinetochore to spindle fibers from the opposite pole. The plane of alignment of chromosomes at the metaphase is referred to as metaphase plate. This is nothing but the plane of alignment. The key features of metaphase are spindle fibers attached to kinetochores of chromosomes. Please like this session of NEET Shala. Chromosomes are moved to spindle equator and get aligned along metaphase plates through spindle fibers to both poles. So we are moving to anaphase. 10.2.3 Anaphase. At the onset of anaphase, each chromosome arranged at the metaphase plate is split simultaneously and the two daughter chromatids, now referred to as daughter chromosomes, of the future daughter nuclei begin their migration towards the two opposite poles. As each chromosome moves away from the equatorial plate, the centromere of each chromosome remains directed towards the pole and hence at the leading edge with the arm of the chromosome trailing behind. This anaphase stage is characterized by the following key events. You can see here anaphase. Centromere split and chromatid separate. Chromatid move to opposite poles as you can see in the diagram. And then we have 10.2.4 telophase. At the beginning of the final stage of karyokinesis, that is telophase, the chromosomes that have reached their respective poles decondense and lose their individuality. So right now I have to close this session. The next video will upload for part 2. Okay, till then stay connected to NEET Shala.